The legend continues to grow, and you get the sense that we are just seeing the surface of what Ilia MALININ can do.
This is just the beginning. How terrifying is that? In a way, what are we going to see next? Quintuplets from him? I really think we might. It's just, he takes it to a different level. This is not just about quads. This is about outrageous quads that he's attempting and quad sequences at the end of his program that are just so incredibly difficult. I'm just so impressed by him. I just stare and wonder.
The technical difficulty of that program just is jaw-dropping. As a skater, as an athlete, the things that he's capable of making his body do are otherworldly. And the fact that he can do them, not only just get through them, but do them so beautifully. I mean, it's amazing. It's compelling, just as compelling as a masterpiece of artistry on the ice. That quad axle at the top, I don't even want to pick it apart because it's just so scary to even think of trying one. Picking apart that landing, which was a little bit under-rotated, seems rude, but there it was. Quad toe, half loop, triple sow cow here. Glorious combination, arms over the head for extra grade of execution. It's just, Tara, it's just phenomenal.
It's so good. The way he gets into that rotating position.
So 192.82 and solidly into first place, trying to win his second gold medal of the Grand Prix this season. And just making, I know it wasn't entirely clean, but just making the quad axle commonplace for him to go after and to get.
He's almost untouchable in a free skate. With his technical plan, untouchable.
But it is Ilia MALININ who wins his second gold medal of the season. Shun Santo, what a time to come up with a second place finish to earn a spot in the Grand Prix final. And Camden Pulkkinen, how about that? Pull up into fifth place. So the Grand Prix, you've got 4 of the 6 they're competing. They are from Japan. What a deep, talented field. Daniel Grasso from Italy. And yes, Ilia MALININ, who I would install as the favorite because who can beat him in the free skate? We'll see. Check out our smooth sailing moment presented by American Cruise Lines now, guys.
He sailed away with the gold medal here. There was his quad axle attempt. It was not perfect, but it's still so mind-blowing to see. And then this sequence, quad toe, half loop, triple sow cow. Technically, this kid is just fire. He's taking the sport to a whole new stratosphere. My heart is pounding, setting it up right here. Quad axle! Oh my goodness! That was beautiful! Floated down! The room he had!
Nicknamed the Quad God, Ilia MALININ is the first and only ice skater to land a quadruple axel in competition.
It doesn't feel real that what I did that week in Lake Placid is actually what happened.
This was the moment that Ilia made history on the ice in Lake Placid, New York at the U.S. Classic.
Has it hit you yet that you will go down in history as the first person to hit a quad axel in competition?
Not really. I mean, I'm still trying to take in the fact that I can land it, like even in practice.
For 4 hours a day, 6 days a week, Ilia is on the ice here at SkateQuest in Reston, coached by 2 Olympians, Tatiana and Roman, who also happen to be his parents.
I'm very grateful that they became coaches.
When Ilia's parents competed in the Olympics, they skated for Uzbekistan, but have raised Ilia here in Fairfax County, Virginia, and he has dreams of skating for Team USA in 2026.
Honestly, like a childhood dream of mine, especially since my parents are both Olympians, 2-time Olympians. So I kind of hope to continue that sort of family tradition.
Ilia is a high school senior at George C. Marshall. He goes to school in the mornings and skates in the afternoons. Traveling for competitions can be challenging with his studies, but his teachers are understanding of his unconventional extracurricular activities.
They've been pretty lenient with all of it, and they're always like, you know, if you need any help or even just little like extension on like a due date, they're always happy to work with me.
Now having landed the quad axle twice in competition, most recently at the 2022 Skate America last month, he is already working towards a quintuple axle.
That was beautiful!
Since I've landed quad axle, I feel like it's a little bit possible to do quint, so I think now is to focus on myself actually doing most of the work on the pole harness instead of my dad lifting me up in the air and then I'm just there like spinning around.
For Ilia, practice does make perfect, or at least it makes history.
Whether it's enough, we don't know, but absolutely sensational stuff from the teenager from Vienna, Virginia, Ilia MALININ, again.
That was incredible, Terry. You're watching technical wizardry, guys. This is technical greatness. There's no other word for it. The type of raw talent he has comes along once in a lifetime, and he never disappoints in the free skate, especially this season. He is the comeback kid in the free skate, and it's hard to believe that after watching that 5 quads, landing a quad axel beautifully, a jump that no one else on the planet can do, that he won't win this event. But when you're 20 points back, it's just too hard.
Just love how fearlessly he attacks these performances. Tara and I were talking before we came on air, before the competition, that maybe he would hold back a little bit since he knows that he can't really win unless there's a complete disaster from Shoma Uno, but he brought everything. There's the quad axel. Incredible technical strength, 4.5 revolutions in less than a second. Here's a close-up of the feet. You can see how tight they are. It's just something.
That shot was
every
just
time we
so
see
beautiful.
It, every time we see the quad axel, I am just shocked that we're actually seeing it. Quad flip there.
My heart is just racing.
My hands are sweaty.
Watch his positioning in the air. His landing leg is just waiting for him there. Look at that nice height, soft landing. He did exactly what he needed to do in this free skate. You can't control what others are going to do. And yes, Shoma could do a clean program and this won't be enough, but Shoma could also make mistakes, and he laid it down. He did the best he could do.
The thing is, though, it's so wonderful that he's learned these technical skills early and he can develop the artistry in the seasons to come. Learning the jumps the older you get is harder, so he's got everything he needs to really pull a Nathan Chen, Yuzuru Hanyu kind of legacy out of his career. He's starting with so much special goodness.
Such a different look in the Kiss and Cry than we saw after the short program. Roman Skornyakov, his dad was a skater we watched at the Olympics. Tatiana Malinina, his mom also. She was a star at the Grand Prix Final 2. Rafaela Ratunian, one of his coaches, in good hands all around at a young age. And he's made that opener, that quad axel, like commonplace. He just does it every time. Here we go.
Il punteggio
191.84, so approaching that 200 mark for the free skate. You see the technical side much higher than the components. 271.94 is the standard now.
And now he waits.
Which is often the hardest part, but he does wait with the lead as we continue with the action.
And it does! Amazing! The first quad axel to be done in a short program ever.
Let's dive into that because you have a new name to watch and someone who's performed a quad axel for the men, which is groundbreaking.
Say that again. A quad axel, you say?
Yes. Can you take me through, please, and show me who, what, and why should we be so amazed at what we're seeing as we get to Skate America and the other big events here starting this fall?
Well, Ilia MALININ, representing the United States of America, is the first human ever to land a quadruple axel. 4.5 revolutions in the air. Others have tried it, including the great double Olympic champion Yuzuru Hanyu, but have failed to. This summer, he landed the first one. The axel is so difficult because it takes off forward. The only jump to do that, it adds an extra half revolution to the double axel, which is 2.5, triple, 3.5, quad, 4.5, and it is just out of this world. I never thought in my lifetime I'd see somebody do a quad axel, and this young man taking the reins from Nathan Chen and is the new, not even quad king, he's the quad god.
Well, for those of us who watch, we get it, but can you slow it down and show us what is so great about this?
I sure can. Look at this technology. So that's 1 revolution, 2 feet off the ice, 2 revolutions, 3 revolutions, it'll get up to 4.5. Again, as I said, the Axel, the only figure skating jump that takes off forward, adding an extra half revolution as every jump lands backwards. And what always mesmerizes me is that 800 pounds of pressure on a very slight gentleman in Ilia MALININ. And it's just amazing what these jumps do to the body, the toll that they take, but how impressive when the technique works out that beautifully. And I'm hoping we see him hit time and time again. He's actually been practicing a free skate with 7 quadruple jumps in it. All 6 jumps represented. Nobody has ever done that before.
Let me ask you a question. You and Tara Lipinski have really educated me towards the athleticism in skating, but when you were doing it, it was artistry with the athleticism. Are we losing the artistry to gain the maximum athleticism in the sport?
Well, that is always the question with figure skating. There are diehard fans that want the old school kind of 80s and 90s back with the fairy tale storybook performances, but it's just not that way anymore. There's a judging system that encourages skaters to try harder things, to do harder programs, more intricacies in between the jumps to make a full picture. And as always, in figure skating past or present, the cream rises to the top. The winner will be the one that combines the technical excellence with beautiful artistry. And Ilia MALININ, for example, may not have the artistic firepower, but a lot of people said the same thing about Nathan Chen when he started his first run at the Olympic Games.
Of course, I could sit and talk to you forever, and I've taken too much time, but can you quickly give me women's